Control isn't about what you say, it's about how you make someone feel. When a client feels like they can't live without you, it's not because they need you logically, but because their emotions are so attached that losing you feels like losing a part of themselves. This kind of emotional dependency doesn't happen overnight. It's built layer by layer until they reach a point where they don't even realize how deep their attachment has become. It all starts with creating emotional reliance. Most people believe attachment is formed through constant contact, but the truth is, attachment grows strongest when someone feels like you are part of their emotional rhythm. If every time they feel something, happiness, stress, boredom, loneliness, their first instinct is to talk to you. Their brain starts associating you with emotional relief. And once someone believes that talking to you solves a problem, fills a gap, or makes their emotions feel better, they won't want to go without that feeling. The key is to become the person they turn to before they even realize they're doing it. Most people only react when someone reaches out. But real control happens when you predict their emotions before they feel them. If you can sense when they are about to feel lonely, when they are about to feel frustrated, or when they are about to pull back, and you show up at just the right moment, their brain starts linking your presence with comfort and relief. And once they believe that your presence removes discomfort, they will start craving it without knowing why. The second layer of attachment is creating moments of deep emotional exposure. People feel closest to the ones they reveal their true selves to, but they won't open up to just anyone. They will only open up when it feels safe and natural. The trick is to make vulnerability feel like a shared experience, not a demand. If you say, "Tell me something personal," they will feel pressured. But if you say, "It's funny how people never really say what they're thinking out loud," they will naturally start sharing because their mind is already focused on that idea. The more someone reveals about themselves to you, the more their brain starts seeing you as a permanent part of their emotional world. Once they are emotionally invested, the next step is making them feel like losing, you would create a void. The mistake most people make is assuming that once a client feels attached, they will stay. But the truth is, people only hold on to something when they believe it is rare and irreplaceable. If they believe they can find the same connection elsewhere, they won't feel urgency to keep it. The trick is to subtly reinforce the idea that your presence is not guaranteed. If you are always available, they will take it for granted. But if they feel like they still have to work to keep you engaged, they will hold on tighter. The key is creating micro moments of absence. If you pull back too much, they will detach. But if you pull back slightly at the right moments, they will start chasing without realizing it. If a conversation is deep and engaging, instead of letting it die out naturally, step away while the energy is high. Say something like, "I like talking to you, but I have to go. We'll continue this later." Now their mind stays locked onto that moment, and they will keep thinking about the unfinished connection. And when you come back, the emotional relief of your return makes them feel even more attached. Another powerful psychological technique is controlled validation. If you always make them feel special, the effect wears off. But if you make them feel like they have to earn your approval, their brain starts seeking that validation. Instead of complimenting them constantly, say something like, "I wasn't sure about you at first, but you actually have a way of making conversations interesting." Now, they feel like they had to work for your recognition, and that makes them even more engaged. People don't just become emotionally addicted because of deep conversations. They become addicted because of emotional unpredictability. If every conversation feels the same, their brain stops craving it. But if your interactions create unexpected highs and subtle lows, their mind stays locked onto you. One day, you are fully engaged and warm. The next day, you are slightly distant. The moment they feel like they don't fully have your attention, their emotional investment increases. And once they feel like they have to keep earning your time, they will never feel comfortable walking away. Emotional dependency is strongest when someone starts planning around your presence. The moment they start adjusting their schedule, checking their phone for your messages, or thinking about what to say to you next, they have already given you control over their thoughts. The trick is to make your presence feel like a daily expectation. If they get used to hearing from you at certain times, if they start expecting your engagement, and if they notice when you are slightly less available, their brain automatically seeks out the missing pattern. This is how attachment moves from conscious to subconscious dependence. The final layer of control is reinforcing the idea that what you have is unique. People only hold on to something when they believe it cannot be replaced. The best way to do this is to create inside references, personal jokes, and unique patterns of communication that only exist between you and them. If they feel like no one else talks to them the way you do, if they feel like the connection is custom-built, they will hold on to it because they believe they can't recreate it elsewhere. Once this psychological framework is in place, a client won't just want to talk to you. They will feel like they need to. They won't just enjoy your presence. They will fear losing it. And when someone fears losing you, they start finding reasons to keep you, instead of looking for reasons to walk away. If you want to learn the deepest psychological techniques for building emotional dependency, controlling a client's mind, and creating long-term influence, I break everything down inside my private group. You'll learn advanced persuasion, emotional control, and attachment-building methods that can't be found anywhere else. If you're serious about mastering this, the link is in the description.